Objection!
Alright, hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we started off the first case, met our main character Phoenix Wright, his mentor Mia Fey. I guess I didn't mention that last episode either. And we met the defendant, Larry Butts, and the judge, and this dude, Winston Payne. Worst prosecutor ever. And anyway, let's move on and meet, this Frank Sahwit guy who witnessed the entire crime. He's the killer! Mr. Sahwit, oh, wrong voice. Wow, what a way to start off this episode. Mr. Sahwit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh, yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sahwit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on that day of the murder. Witness's account. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside of the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sahwit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? Alright, Wright. This is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. I just want to take a second and say I love this game's soundtrack. Touch the court record button and point out contradictions in the testimony. Alright, let's get started. Cross-examination, witness's account. And I already know what the lie is here. It's not this, it's not this. Not that either. Not that. No, no. Okay, here we go. Now if we check the court... if we check the court record... Let's take a look at the autopsy report. He said he found the body at 1 p.m. But according to this, it says the time of death was around 4 or 5 p.m. So let's rub it in his face, like Mia said. Oh, whoops. Let's rub it in his face. Oh, yes. You found the body at 1 p.m., you're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at some time after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sahwit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? Oh, you slippery bastard. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a videotaped program. Of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. Alright, if it isn't obvious what he's contradicting, you'll see what it is. You heard the time. Probably coming from the television. Okay, this we know is not true. With what we just got from Pan. The electricity to Miss Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. Even if he's saying it was 3 hours off, that's still an hour after the blackout. So let's rub it in his face. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery, and this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Gah! The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sahwit? No, I find it quite puzzling myself, quite. Wait, I remember now. Mr. Sahwit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sahwit. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Hearing the time. Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. You saw a clock? I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. If it isn't obvious this time, this dude said the murder weapon was. Okay, murder weapon was not a clock. It was this statue of the thinker. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now how is this supposed to be a clock? What? You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sahwit. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne? As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. It doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So, the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. You have any problems with this testimony now? Of course I do. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove I was in there. Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sahwit, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. Well, what's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Gah! Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never, the clock, I heard, no, I mean, I saw, God! Ew. Shut up, I hate you! Wow, you turned into a teenage girl. It was him, I tell you, I saw him! He killed her, and he should burn, give him death! Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I better think it through carefully. Yes, Your Honor. The sound Mr. Sahwit heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply... Let's try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what the time is now? It's 11:25. Ah! As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sahwit heard and the actual time of death. So, wrong voice. So, Mr. Sahwit, try to talk your way out of this one. You forgot one thing. Uh-oh, what's he talking about? While it may seem like the clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. He's right. How am I going to prove that? Damn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately. This ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sahwit. I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. They treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. Grr, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Sahwit. Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But, Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right. Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Yes, I can. Wait! Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves the clock was running 3 hours slow. Why, isn't it obvious? It's the victim's passport. She was in Paris. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you had heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sahwit, or should I say, Mr. Did It? Well, that happened. Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your client, he, er, he was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? Yes, Your Honor. I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. Find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts. Yay, we win. And with that, the court is adjourned. It turns out that Frank Sahwit was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house that day. When Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sahwit let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sahwit grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. And you can guess the rest. August 3rd, 2:32 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. Wow, we took 4 hours? Damn, to 4.5 hours. Whew, I still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Oh, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no! I mean, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Windy's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was a... Nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner, movie, my treat. Oh, no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You? You made this? Huh. Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick, and she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to just cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Right. Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? If it isn't clear, if she didn't think about it anymore, then why did she hang on to the clock? Check this out, Larry. Proof positive that you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? Where'd you get that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. She took it with her when she traveled. She probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right. Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks. And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay me, unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. The end. So ends the first turnabout. Alright. I'm actually kind of glad I did that in two parts. Well, expect the next case to come sometime soon. Because next we'll be doing Turnabout Sisters. Alright. Oh, you saw my mouse again. Alright, so I guess this is goodbye then. I'll see you guys next time for episode 2 of the Phoenix Wright Attorney. Wow, I'm just drawing a blank. Turnabout Sisters. Alright, see you guys then. Bye.